My name is Tandoi. Over the past 10 weeks in MGMT, my understanding of what it means to be a responsible business professional has really developed. In this reflection, I'll share two real life situations where I learn influence how I see and respond to situations outside the classroom. When I first arrived in Australia, I had to make a lot of quick decisions, things like transport, how to interact with people, finding a part time job, and just adjusting to a new culture and accent. At my first, my early experiences in Sydney shaped how I judge everything. For example, if something felt expensive compared to my first week, I would avoid it straight away, or if someone seemed a bit friendly, I would assume most people were like that. I wasn't really stopping to question it, it was just going with my first impression. Later on, I learned about cognitive biases, especially anchoring biases. That's when you really rely too much on the first piece of information you get. That really made me reflect on my own behavior. I realized I wasn't actually making fair or informed decisions. I was just sticking at my first experience instead of staying open minded. This made me think about responsibility in organization as well. People in management make decisions that affect a lot of others. I Those decisions are based on the first impression or all information. It can lead to unfair outcome. So it's not just a thinking mistake, it can actually become a ethical issue. Going forward, I want to be more aware of this. I want to pause and ask myself what I'm basing my decision on and whether it still makes sense. I think that's really important if I want to be a responsible business profession. Um, a class exercise where we examine how decision regarding a river impacted various groups of people was another instance that caught my attention. It encompassed neighborhoods, culture, and people's daily lives in addition to business. I was also getting used to being new in Australia at the same time, and there were times when I felt like my viewpoint wasn't always taken into consideration or heard. I now have a better understanding of stakeholder thinking. That the encounter, I began to realize that the decision have an impact on people's social, cultural, and environment well-being. In addition to profit, it helped me realize that many groups have different perspectives on things and that their opinions are important. This made me think quite differently. The most powerful or really people frequently have the strongest voice. However, in order to be ethical, one must consider who else is impacted and whether or not they are truly involved in the decision. It helped me realize that people shouldn't be left out of decision process. As a future professional, I want to be someone who supports more inclusive decisions. I want to ensure that many viewpoints are taken on account, particularly those that are frequently disregarded. This, in my opinion, produces greater and longer lasting results. Overall, this course has shown me that being a responsible business professional is something you practice every day. It's about being aware of your decisions, staying open minded, and thinking about how your actions affect others. Thank you.